Hey, welcome to UltraChenTV. It's the Tuesday show, part of the Round Tuesday series of fighting game community Tuesday night talk shows.
Yep, hopefully you guys just came from Wake Up SRK with Keats and Skisonic, and now it is time for UltraChen with Ultra David and James Chen.
Yeah, that's where the name comes from. So we actually have some pretty cool news tonight, I would say. If you're not aware, Skullgirls has been having this fundraiser.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been using, what was the other website that everyone used to use?
Kickstarter?
Kickstarter, yeah.
Yeah, this is on Indiegogo, though.
But they've been doing an Indiegogo, and basically what they did was 2 days ago, they put up an Indiegogo saying, help expand Skullgirls, because for those of you guys who don't know the backstory, they were Reverge?
So Reverge Labs made Skullgirls. It was published, though... Well, Autumn and then Konami were both in there.
Right.
Those didn't work out so well. And so they kind of reformed it just entirely. Right. And now the developer itself is Lab Zero. Right. And they are trying to get publishing through... I don't know, maybe I should stop talking because I'm not really sure what's public.
Okay, but
maybe it is, I just have no idea.
The whole thing about it is literally they're the group of developers who are trying to continue making this game with no actual budget and funding, it feels like. So what happened was they opened an Indiegogo, which is just like Kickstarter, asking for community support, community funding for their game. Right. And 2 days ago, they put up $150,000 to try to get Squiggly out there.
That was the goal.
That was the goal. And they even stated themselves that they were not sure they could get $150,000 in 30 days.
Right. It's a tall order. $150K is gigantic. That's most of what the whole EVO donation drive was in total, let alone for one game. It blows away any of the individual game showings.
And as of yesterday, in one day, in less than 24 hours... they gained about 175,000, which is well over their intended goal. And right now, we're looking at the website, they're at 192,143 with 29 days left.
It just blows my mind. It's amazing. I would never have guessed. I'm so happy for them.
It's I'm going to try to do my math, but that's 133% of their goal in a day and a few hours, right? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, like James said, they had not... I don't know if they really expected that it would work out. I'm sure they thought there was a chance, but to get this was remarkable. I mean, the amount of interest from the community, and interestingly, not just from the dedicated Skullgirls community of players. I got a couple of tweets from people today who were not actually Skullgirls players themselves, but who wanted to support the game, wanted to support this kind of funding for a fighting game, and the guys who tweeted to me said that they are now going to play.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
nice.
I don't know if that is an average thing. I don't know if that's representative, but clearly it's not just people who play Skullgirls who are helping this thing out.
Right, and let me just put this into a little bit of perspective here. Yeah. For those of you people who are familiar with Kickstarter, for those of you who are familiar with these Indiegogo projects, usually what they do is they have different levels of donation. And it's basically like recommendations. If you donate this much amount, we'll put your name in the credits. If you donate this amount, we'll give you a soundtrack. If you donate... So there's always these ridiculous packages toward the ends. Like, donate $1,000 and we'll give you this, right?
And the prizes for doing that are always wildly crazy.
Yep.
Because they just don't expect that many people to do that.
Exactly. And they set up $1,000 as the highest one. Yeah. And not only did it sell out... they had to increase the number of those packages because more people wanted to donate that amount. And so as of now, they have 24 out of 24 claims. So 24 people donated $1,000 or more to this project. And I just think that's fantastic.
I'm blown away by the level of support for this.
Dude, it's like you see the story, you can't help but smile and just feel so happy for the entirety of the Lab Zero team.
So let's talk a little bit about the numbers, specifically the $150,000, because I know that some people were a little surprised that they set the number at $150,000. That sounds like a lot of money.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But in reality, it's not. They actually had to kind of lowball what the real cost is.
Yeah.
Of putting out a new character, it's an expensive process. I mean, think about it. It's not like this is just one person doing it as a hobby. This is a business. Lab Zero is a business. There are people involved in it. They need to get paid in order to do it, or else they just can't do it. Then it costs money to actually physically or to actually make the transfer. It costs money to give to Microsoft and to Sony to actually put out the character. I mean, there's this very expensive process.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people, including some very well-known players in the community and such, basically just like $150,000 for a character. Are you crazy? Like, they are totally ripping us off and pocketing this money. And
don't begrudge them their ability to earn a living.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like, I mean, some of it might be going for their salary, but
I hope they get to eat.
Yeah, exactly, because they're giving away this character for free. Okay, so when they develop Squiggly in there, she's going to be free for a limited time, right? So the majority of the people who care about Skullgirls are going to get Squiggly right away, right? So you got to imagine they're not going to make any money off of the sales after the limited time runs out, right? Not a lot of people are going to buy Squiggly. They are practically giving away this character for free. And, as players in the fighting game community, we've gotten a little entitled because we have streams for free. We have all this content for free. People are creating... I mean, pretty much everything about the fighting game community is free.
Yeah, it's not just us. That's
most of the players. No, I'm kidding.
But, that's not just fighting game community. That's just living online in general. We're very accustomed to not having to pay for things if we don't want.
Right. So. And so, I mean, yes, Lab Zero wants to make Squiggly, and they want to actually... make some money off of it. Oh no. Like they are probably, but I mean, you have to also think of it this way. It's not even like they're just like, haha, pocket money, Mike Z's counting cash stacks. I mean, this is literally, there are all sorts of people who are doing this job. It's not even just the programmers and stuff, but it's like the publicists and all these other people are all doing things, and they all deserve money for making this game and continuing the efforts on this game. And so it is definitely not even close to anything as being in terms of a ripoff.
Yeah, I'm not always on the train that if you make something, then you should be compensated for it. I don't necessarily agree with the if-then there,
right?
Especially online. But in this kind of case, when it's explicitly being put out as, here, if you pay for this, then here's the return. Like, it's like a direct thing.
Right.
Then in that case, it's a different story.
Right.
I mean, this whole proposition is founded on giving them money, or really paying them to make this happen. And anything on top of a certain one of the contributions, I think the basic one gives you pre-order, but then the basic one gives you pre-order of the character. But then if you pay the $30 one, you already got the Steam code for the PC game. So it's
nice.
Like beyond that level, it's just you're just a nice guy, or you want the other things. Yeah.
I mean, this is just the thing, right? I mean, I know, like, on Twitter at one point when the PS4 was announced, I got kind of a little huffy and puffy about it because, I'm saying, like, games they're just too expensive to develop these days, right? And, a lot of people probably don't realize the level of cost that it takes to make a lot of these things, right? And so, I know plenty of people who are in the gaming industry, and when you hear, like, an AAA title coming out, right, and it has to sell, like, millions of copies before it can actually start making a profit, that's just an indication of, just how expensive it is to make games. So you can't sit there and think $150,000 is a ridiculous amount to create one character.
Yeah, think about it like this. If there are 7 people involved in this $150,000 project, then each one of them is getting minimum wage to do it. Right? I mean, that's... Whoa! It's not like it's not a high number. Okay.
Nice. I like
so,
that. That's a really good example.
Yeah. It costs money to do things. And anyway, all of that aside, I mean, it seems like people haven't even cared about that, really, because I don't think we would have gotten to $192,000 in 2 days if people had been concerned that there was any kind of ripoff going on. Instead, it seems like it's all about the community, the Skullgirls community itself, but in larger sense, fighting game community people in general, and maybe there are people involved who have donated who aren't even in fighting games at all. I'm not sure, but there's clearly this very broad-based support
Yeah, I remember seeing like some completely other non-gaming community trying to help support Skullgirls. I remember seeing something. I don't remember what it is. But yeah, I can even imagine other independent gaming developers who maybe have succeeded are probably trying to help out with this, because this is a very ambitious project. And also another thing too, it's like, you know, when you design video games and stuff like that, in terms of fighting games, like especially with someone like Mike Z, who's going to take as much effort as he can to make sure the character's balanced and stuff, that's even more. I mean, most people can like create levels and be like, here's some difficulty, but you've got to spend hundreds of hours trying to balance one character to make sure they don't completely destroy one other character in the game, right? So it's I mean,
well, I just think that it's awesome in general. I would think that this is, if this could be a more frequent model for video game development and publication in general, I would really like that. We've talked a lot about how Skullgirls is this community-driven game. People, you know, who are making it are members of the fighting game community, or are video gamers. All of them are video gamers,
right.
And they, you know, it comes from us, and you can really see that in the way that the game works, in the way the game looks, in the way the game sounds. The soundtrack is amazing, and I think that this kind of support for them, this type of crowdsourcing, fundraising, anyway, whatever the word is really a good idea for this kind of project, and it's clearly worked out. Almost $200,000 so far already.
Yeah. And another cool thing that they've been doing is every $20,000 that was donated, they would reveal basically like a new character design, like a new character that has the potential to be DLC in the future.
Oh yeah. Let's get to these. Some of these are so sick.
Show you guys some of these. So like every $20,000 that they got, these are the characters that they started showing.
Yeah.
So there's Umbrella, and this is Marie. And you know what the funny thing is, you look at these characters and you're just like, holy crap, how are these guys going to play? Like, I'm just really...
Well, they're all going to have they would all have very interesting mechanics, right, I can assure you.
Yeah, you know, I just laughed too, because they were probably like, man, we'll never get to this amount, so we don't have to reveal any of these characters. And in like a day and a half, here they all are, right?
I know.
And so
quick, let's make some new characters.
The teacher is going to be in there.
From training mode, And,
Devil Girl looks like... Interesting, she has like a whip with a snake head. And Annie. And then, of course, they started revealing, you know, they talked about the male characters being in there. And so we have Stanley here, who I know is supposed to be like one that a lot of people wanted. And Hive. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. So they also showed pictures that the Team Fortress had created a new hat based on Leviathan from. So this was the outside community that I saw from this. You know, the Team Fortress guys were even making hats, you know, based on Squiggly's Leviathan. So that's actually kind of cool as well.
Wait, so is Big Band not on there? I thought that Big Band was on there.
I don't think he's here.
I guess not. I don't see him.
Yeah.
Maybe if we get to 200K, they'll show that.
But they did give everybody this thank you picture here. So
you know, I'm looking forward to Big Band.
So who is Big Band?
Big Band is the guy in that one stage who is a saxophone. He has like a horn for a head, you know? And he's this big dude. Rumors keep saying that he plays kind of like Q, but like Air Dash Q.
Okay, well there you go.
Well, you know, I can't resist that, right?
Exactly. So,
but I mean, Stanley looks pretty sick too. I want some big bruising dude.
Yeah, I know.
That's
and the uglier they are, the better, right? So.
Yeah. Because for some reason, it just seems like the bigger and uglier a character is, the more likely it is to be a command grab character.
Yes, this is absolutely true. Yeah.
So that's why I kind of gravitate towards that.
It's actually why I've actually used to love the design of Makoto, because she was finally a grappler character that was a short little female character.
Totally.
That's why I like Armika too.
Right.
So even though I know everyone thinks I'm crazy for liking Armika,
I think she's cool. I hate Makoto with a passion, but I mean, I
you hate her because of her
idea.
Gameplay, right?
Oh, because it's a 1-to-9 matchup for Q. Yeah.
And she's the walking 50-50, right?
Yeah.
I remember I was talking at one point in time, I was like, you know what, I'm going to take Third Strike seriously. I was talking to a Third Strike player, I was like, I'm going to learn Makoto. And they're like, don't play Makoto. Please don't play Makoto. So
yeah. I don't think that's your character anyway. All right, well, ready to take a little break here?
Yeah, absolutely. And when we come back, obviously there was a Road to a Evo event just last weekend. Ooh, so there's going to be some awesome stuff to talk about there. So we'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back. So, by the way, I just want to clarify. Somebody said that the reason Big Band isn't on that list is that he's already a confirmed second character, and these characters we just showed are for the third character spot.
Yeah. So I wonder if they're going to do like a vote for them or something.
I'm not sure, actually.
Because to be honest with you, I think it's pointless. I think Stanley, Shark Dude, is going to win. Guaranteed, dude.
Yeah. I hope so.
Dude, he's a freaking walking shark in a lab coat, is he in?
Right.
Dude, that's amazing.
Okay, so...
Dude, look at this dude, man.
You're still looking at Stanley?
Dude, he's such an awesome character design. I love the way he looks.
The only thing is that in this picture, he's a little stouter than in the actual game.
Oh, really?
So, I'm interested to see, which one he ends up going with here. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, look at this. He's got glasses. The shark has glasses.
Yeah, third character is the fan vote.
You know what would be the best thing about Stanley? And I dare Mike Z to do this for this character.
What's that?
I think that Stanley, you always have to keep walking forward, and if you ever walk backwards for too long, he dies.
Oh, like a shark.
Like a shark,
like a real
right?
shark.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be awesome?
You know what? That is a very interesting playing mechanic. It's interesting. I'll give you that. I'm not sure that would be the most balanced design, but I think that's an interesting idea.
It never happened. It'll never happen.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay,
anyways, so Winter Brawl happened this past weekend. Of course, it was in Philly. Lots of people were there. Lots of great players were there. Lots of players who were hopeful up-and-comers were there. But let's talk first about Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition version 2012. PR Rog ended up taking it. His second ever major using Faye. He's now 1 for 2 in majors using Faye, okay?
Yeah, and the other one, he got second place.
He's 2 for 2 in top 2s.
Yeah, exactly. And, look, I don't want to toot my own horn, okay? But after the 25th anniversary, PR Rog's like, I'm changing characters. I'm looking at Adon. The first thing I did reply to him was like, no, Fei Long. You should play Fei Long, 100%. And he's like, you think so? And I was like, yes.
Well, it's all because of you.
Exactly. So
he's where he is now because of James Chen.
Exactly. See, that is the power.
Where are your pot winnings? That's what I want to know. Where's the split?
That's why I'm talking about this. Eduardo, come on, man. I'll give you my PayPal address. Just tweet me, okay? So
Yes.
let's talk about this on the side a little bit.
Second place.
DM sent. No, just kidding.
Second place was Sanford Kelly with Sagat and Cammy. Then Dominion was third place with Guile. Justin with Rufus, Snake Eyes with Zangief, even though it says Sagat here.
Okay.
Ricky Ortiz with Rufus, Rico Suave with Abel, and Vivaldi with Rufus. By the way, just before we continue, we were talking about this during the break, but thanks so much to USD for making these posts.
All
of the upcoming tournament posts and the results posts are definitely the best thing about the Shoryuken.com front page. Bar none, they are far and away the most important and best thing.
Why USD is up there? It kind of is actually true. I'm not gonna lie, but there was definitely me and Derek were talking about it individually, and she did amazing stuff for NeoGAF, and so
I didn't know about that until you said.
Yeah,
but apparently she did this for GAF before for SRK, and then it was just for fun. She just did it for fun.
And so the two of us were like, you know what, she needs to get on SRK. We talked to SRK staff, and there she is now. So now, honestly, like the work she does is thankless. It's a thankless job, and she's doing an amazing job at it. So thank you USD for doing what you do. So
yes, absolutely. But so
everything good in the fighting game is because of me in the fighting game community. You don't understand? I am the glue that holds the whole community together. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not sure.
I'm kidding. Okay, but so the number one question right now. We have always talked about how balanced this game is.
Yeah.
And Dominion stayed with his character.
Yes.
Justin stayed with his character. Ricky stayed with his character.
Snake Eyes,
stayed
Rico,
with his character.
Vivaldi, all with their characters.
Changed, and he won. What does this mean?
Well, I want to point out that Sanford also got second with Sagat and Cammy. I don't know what the proportion of those two characters was. Do you know?
I saw him mostly using Sagat. Okay. He picked... I didn't understand this at all, but when he first fought Eduardo, he picked Cammy first in the grand finals.
That makes sense.
Maybe he lost 3 in a row or 2 in a row or something like that. And I think, did they play in winners finals? No, that was Daiminian. I don't know who sent Sanford to losers, but maybe it was PR Rog. And maybe
it was Daiminian, actually.
Oh, it was Daiminian.
Guile.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, USD, for the notes.
That's what I'm saying,
exactly,
right? Yeah, it's awesome.
So I was actually really surprised Sanford did that, but PR Rog has even said, I remember at SER, he was walking around, and he just said, ever since I switched to Phelan, I have never lost to a Cammy again. Like, so he was just like super happy to actually have picked up this character because he, I've been saying it for a while now that I think Phelan counters Cammy like severely, but PR Rog apparently agrees with me on that one. So,
I think he beats Cammy. I don't know if I'm going to stick with severely on this, but as far as Cammy's bad matchups go, that's probably about as bad as it gets.
Right.
But I understand why Sanford would go to Cammy there, because I think Sagat just has an even worse time of it. I think Sagat versus Faye is super tough.
Yeah.
So anyway, the top 2 players were using mostly Faye and some Cammy. Okay, so and your point about the top tier, whether that's super important in this game, Sanford Kelly is one guy who has made the point too in the past.
Right.
Everybody,
the top tier, right?
Yeah, and he did, and he got second place in part because of that character. Sagat definitely not top tier. Cammy definitely is top tier. And that I'm sure it helped him out. Look, I mean, I said whenever we talked about this a month ago maybe, that I think that the game is about the matchups, and that not every top tier has a good matchup against every character, so the matchups are still important. But of course, the higher a character is, the more good matchups it's going to have. That's just definitionally true. So I don't think that there's any mistake about that. I think that if Daiminian had played Guile, but in the case of a few characters, if he had picked some backup character, maybe he would have done better. That is to say, if he had done what Sanford did, stick with his main character, Sagat for the most part, then have a backup character to deal with bad matchups, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, even Rog did that. He played Balrog in some matchups too, right?
Yeah, and I'm not even going to lie. Like, watching the winners finals between Daiminian and PR Rog, like, it felt like Daiminian won that. Like, PR Rog really just kind of pulled that one out. In fact, he had to win one round with just like the craziest improbable comeback and such. So, for all intents and purposes, PR Rog probably should have got knocked into losers early. So,
everybody's saying that Cammy did not, in fact, help James Chen. Yeah, I didn't see Street Fighter, to be perfectly honest. All I've watched so far is Cross Tekken. I haven't had a chance to go back and watch. I didn't get to watch it live this weekend.
Yeah. Sanford didn't really do much with Cammy.
Okay, so all right, then great. Then the only one who really did this was the guy who won. That is to say, the pick good character that has the matchups.
Right. So that's
everybody else: Sagat, Guile, Rufus, Rufus, Zangief. It says Sagat again. Rufus, Abel, Rufus. None of those characters is top tier.
Right, but here's the thing, right? Nobody in America uses top tier.
It's rare.
So the thing about it is, Justin and Daiminian are amazing players.
Sure.
Santhrax, amazing player. Ricky, amazing player. So they're just going to get there naturally on their own skills, right? But is this good enough to stay competitive with the Japan, the top Korean players?
No, maybe not.
Probably not. Like, I feel like the problem is no one else is challenging these guys, and so they can all coast with these characters when they play in the U.S.
Okay.
But they're not going to be good enough to win international events. So even if Justin switches to Adon, even if Ricky switches to Cammy, for example, they're still going to finish top 4 because they're good.
Yeah.
Right? If Daiminian switches to... I don't know who he would... Like, I'd have to think about who I think he'd be good with. But they're still going to finish top 4, but they're going to be using better characters, so I feel like they're going to be better prepared for international competition.
Okay.
That's just kind of my thought on it.
I guess I agree with that, but for now, there really isn't anybody challenging that, except, I guess, for PR Rog, who has switched over to Faye, and it's worked out for him.
Right. Two majors in a row.
Right.
2 majors in a row, and the only person he lost to at SCR, let's face it, he lost to Infiltration, right? So, essentially, he's the top U.S. player 2 tournaments in a row.
Wait, no, didn't he get third and didn't...
Oh, you're right. Hugo 101 got second.
Hugo 101 got second. Yeah.
Okay,
there you go.
He's 2 for 2 in top 3s.
Yes.
Okay, you're right.
But Hugo 101, and part of why he got top second, part of why he got second was that he picked he had these matchup characters down, right? He had Yun and he had Seth and he had Bison.
He picked Seth against Justin Wong.
Yeah, because he knows Justin's weak to Seth.
Yeah,
everybody knows that at this point.
Right.
Problem X has beaten Justin how many times in tournaments now?
Right.
So yeah, that's the smart scope. That's what PR Rog did. I think, again, that even if everybody here were to go with some extra character to help them out in the matchups, they would still reasonably need a second character.
Yeah, like I
don't think any character has all winning matchups. I don't think any character is just the blanket go-to. You have to have something backup if you want to be at this level.
I would say Dymanian should stick with Guile for like 80% of his matches.
Oh, yeah.
Only switch to other character for those particular bad matchups.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Okay. Cool.
All right, well, let's also talk about the next game on the list here, which is Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which Chris G won again. Morgan Virgil Doom, but also Morgan Doom Firebrand. PR Rog got second place in this thing, so he had an awesome weekend with Wolverine Doom Virgil. Justin Wong with Wolverine Storm Akuma. Yipes, Spencer Virgil Hawkeye. Unknown with Wesker Sentinel Viper. Oh, good job to Unknown. That's cool. Marvello with Nova Dante Strider. Green Ace with Trish Wesker Dante. And Flash Metroid with MODOK Strange Doom and Viper Doom Strider. I think that's a good team, man. MODOK Strange. MODOK Strange is so sick. You get these crazy hit confirms from across the screen with like Beam, Strange. It's pretty sick.
Now,
anyway.
I do want to say that Justin got third on the most heart-wrenching, epic combo drop from Yipes that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Yipes had won the game. It was the last match. He went for Gimlet. I swear that arrow OTG missed by like 3 frames or something, and the Gimlet just missed. And you know Hawkeye sits there forever. If the Gimlet connected, Justin died. Justin had a pixel left, and it didn't die. Hawkeye sits there forever, and that's it. And it's... Dude, seriously, like, right when that happened, you know Yipes. He's a cheerful guy. Even when he loses, he gets salty, whatever. Him and Justin are best friends and everything like that. Dude, he just got up and, like, walked away. He had to walk away before he came back and gave Justin a hug because he was so heartbroken. And seriously, you just watched that. And, I mean, that was... Chris, I think Chris was on the mic. I don't remember who was on the mic at the time, but that was seriously the ultimate, you hate to see this kind of thing happen. Because it was painful. So.
Yeah, I like I said, I haven't gotten a chance to see Marl yet. I'm looking forward to seeing that, I guess, but I'm sorry to hear that about
everyone's saying that it happened against PR Rog.
That was against Rog?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just not reading the chat. Sorry.
Way to go.
Yeah, I know. Gosh.
Did you get to see Chris G versus PR Rog in the grand finals? Morgan Doom Firebrand?
I watched it a little bit, and it was pretty domination.
Well, I mean, how did he play Firebrand on that team? Did he in fact have Firebrand anchor, or what was
it was anchor. Firebrand was
really?
Anchor, so I mean, he was really kind of like a DHC source, you know. Like was he Anchor or was he second? But I just don't even remember Firebrand doing.
It was Point. People are saying it was Point, actually.
He didn't use him at the very beginning. I don't.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm definitely going to go back and watch. I just haven't had a chance yet.
Yeah,
been busy.
Everyone's
Anchor,
saying no one did.
And second. All right, thanks everybody. Point, second, or Anchor. Thanks.
Yeah. Great.
Thanks
great
for the
job.
consensus.
Yeah,
chat.
exactly. Like saying my memory is bad, dude. If you all had streams, you'd all be wrong too. Jeez.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. That's the most profound thing I think I've ever said. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty dominating, and it's starting to grow to a point right now where I'm wondering now, is Morgan Doom really that powerful, or are people just not developing enough technique to defeat him?
Well, looking at the people who played against him, Justin Wong went 2-3 in winners finals, lost, and then Chris G, then PR Rog lost 3-1 in grand finals. But of course, PR Rog did well last at SCR. So, I mean, look, we've all identified Wolverine as being one of the best, well, probably the best character in the game in the first few seconds,
right?
Which is the time that you can really take it to Morgan. But even after that, he can still do stuff. So, I mean, maybe that's starting to be developed as a major anti-Morgan, or maybe not anti-Morgan, but a character that can deal better than most with this team. I mean, if you just look at, who did okay against Chris.
Right. And PR Rog...
Who won a game even.
Right. PR Rog did immediately say that he has some new technology now after that loss, and he wanted to check it out. So, yeah, I mean, like we said, PR Rog, first place, second place. I thought the funniest thing I saw was on Twitter. Mark Mann just randomly tweeted, was like, "Hey, how was everybody's weekend?" And PR Rog responds, "Mine was good. I won." It's like, okay, it's good stuff.
That's got to be nice.
Yeah, I know, seriously. But, I mean, honestly, PR Rog is kind of at this level right now where I feel like I hate, everyone hates the whole, like, oh, Kobe's the next Jordan, that kind of conversation, stuff like that. But honestly, in terms of U.S. players, I feel like PR Rog might be the guy right now that's going to come after Justin, who's coming after Valle. Because you have a lot of strong players in a lot of other games, but PR Rog is strong in everything that he plays.
I think that I would have to say that I think that's split between three people. PR Rog, Dominion, and Chris G. Dominion, awesome in Cross Tekken and in Street Fighter. Yeah, that's true. He plays Marvel. He hates that game, but he manages to get top 8s a lot. Right. Chris G is good in everything. He doesn't play Street Fighter 4 that much, but when he does pretty well. But obviously he does great in Marvel and in Cross Tekken, and even in other games like KOF and Street Fighter 3 and whatever else.
Right. So. Wait, I just have to ask. Did Passive Assassin hear the motorcycles outside the apartment? Because he's like, we've got like racers in the back or something, and I was like, what the heck? Can he hear that?
What? Were there motorcycles?
Yeah. Oh, some people are saying they heard them, dude.
Really?
I live literally on the other side of the wall outside my unit is the freeway. Yeah. And that's what you heard.
The 10 freeway.
Yeah, so...
Man, now people can locate us.
Dude, that's crazy. I can't believe people can hear that.
Yeah, I actually didn't even notice, to be honest.
Okay, yeah.
Well, let's take a break because it's been a little bit of a while.
Okay,
but when we come back, I do want to keep talking about Winter Brawl, but specifically Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Right, alright. Oops, I'm about to cut to the chat here. Hang on a second.
Hey, welcome back to UltraChenTV, to the Tuesday show. Like we said at the beginning of the show, this is part of the Round Tuesday lineup of fighting game community shows, all talk shows, most of the night.
Yep. So, again, hope you guys came from Wake Up SRK just earlier. Now, Cross Counter TV is not on today.
Right.
They are not on this today, so there will be nothing at 9 o'clock. But at 10 o'clock, Hanzo Gonzo and Harrison... SBA will be on the show That Sucks on the I Play Winner channel. So check that out at 10 p.m.
I was listening to that last week after our show, after I guess Cross Counter actually. They had some good points. They were talking about Twitch for a while, and I thought that they had a lot of really interesting points and just intelligent conversation.
I think it was someone who suggested that we should call Hanzo from now on. We should just call him Graham White. Let's just call him Graham White from now on. I think that's kind of a fitting alternative to his actual name.
I don't get it.
It has that same sound to... Okay, never mind. I'll explain.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
I apologize for ruining your joke.
No, it wasn't really a joke. It wasn't really a joke. I'm just saying we should call him that instead of his real name.
You do what you want, man. Okay. Live your life how you choose.
Okay, fine. But he's at Hanzo Gonzo, for as much of a troll personality as he is on Twitter, where everybody kind of knows him, and on streams. He's actually a pretty astute person when it comes to fighting games, so... he has a lot of good points. He definitely has a lot of good things to say.
Every now and then on Twitter, he'll make some remark that is like just remarkably knowledgeable in general.
Yeah, and it's so hard to detect it because you read it and you're like,
how'd you know about
that? He's probably just trolling or whatever.
No, it'll be like some information, factual information that's like not commonly possessed. And I'll be like, what? But, anyway.
Anyways,
So Street Fighter Cross Tekken at Winter Brawl. I want to talk about this because I talked about it a little bit last week and how I thought that maybe this was the time for the online player.
Right, that they were going to blow up all these supposed top players who are playing the game just like they're playing Street Fighter 4, who don't really practice it, who don't pick up any of the new technology or anything like that, right?
The online players are so much more knowledgeable. Yeah, they have the tech. They have the time spent in the game. They have been playing it, all through this whole time. As unlike most top players who took some time off, even if they liked the game, they took time off from the game knowing that it wasn't like one of the major things, and focused on other stuff. So
what happened?
So what happened was that they...
Well, who's the top 8?
Let's go through the top 8. That's a good way to introduce this thing. First place, Dominion. Second place, Ricky Ortiz. Third place, Chris G. Then Jiran. Then Santhrax. Then Flo. Then Justin Wong. Then Insane. I know all those guys. They're not online players.
No.
They are some offline dudes. They're the common players in everything. I mean, we just mentioned these. It seems like each of these guys in a different game. Right. Dominion, Ricky, Chris, Sanford, Justin, all showed up in the top 8 of another game of the 3 games that we've talked about so far. So what happened to the online players? They just didn't know what was going to hit them. They really didn't. I talked with them online in their IRC room, where I've been going a lot lately. Because they are, like I said, the most knowledgeable people. So if I want to know something about the game, I go there, ask. Everybody seems to know the answer.
Right.
But when it comes to talking about the game, I mean, they were talking about how they were going to, use their gimmicks, and this was before Winter Brawl. They were talking about how they were going to use their gimmicks and how they just didn't think that other people were going to know about it, and they would get flustered. That was their expectation. And I said, look, here's who Ricky Ortiz is. Ricky Ortiz is a guy who sometimes decides to wake up in the morning and be a top 8 Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 player, a game he hates and knows nothing about. Okay, right. The way he does that is because he's better than you.
Right.
He has better fundamentals. He understands spacings better. He understands human tendencies better. He has the experience. He's been in high pressure situations a ton of times. He's been in this room where there are 1,000 people and everybody's talking loudly and you can't really hear the game.
Right.
He's been in all these situations before. Online guys haven't. They just haven't, and they didn't expect. They thought that when they hit Ricky or whoever with something, that Ricky or whoever would be like, what just happened? No, what happens instead is the player, the top player goes, oh, okay, I haven't seen that before. Here are 2 possible reasons that I got hit by that, and maybe one of these 2 possible things is something to get me away from that next time. Let me try option A. Did it work? No? Here's option B. Does that work instead? Oh, okay, great.
Yep.
That's their response. It's not to get flustered. So the online player mentality just didn't work out, and I kept telling them, guys, you got to share your tech with each other, because they wanted to keep it secret even amongst themselves. And so I was like, you have to have the experience. You have to help each other out. You have to do all of these things, because I'm telling you, you're not. If it's a spacing game that you are intending to play, good luck, because not many people can hang with those guys.
So basically, if they had listened to you, they all would have won.
Maybe not.
Why are people not listening to us? You see? Everything we say gets you to win tournaments. I'm telling you. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. No. But really, this was the chance. This is their time to shine.
Yeah.
The best time for them to strike is when the people who won ultimately don't know as much, because once they know as much and they're better than you have no chance.
Yeah, and I think everything that they said, that you told me that they said beforehand, was good up until, and they'd get flustered, because the top players don't get flustered.
Right.
And in fact, that's actually one of the biggest skills of being a good fighting game player.
Yeah.
You can see a trick, and when you see the trick, even though you've never seen the trick before, you will develop a counter for it right there. You don't even have to think, okay, how do I counter this? I must go home to training mode. It's just like, I have played these games a million times. Yeah. I have been in situations like this in CVS1 with Nakaruru. This is really similar to that. So I blew that strategy up by landing an uppercut here. So I'm just going to do my uppercut-like thing, and that's all it takes, right?
Well, the bigger thing is that they didn't even get hit by a lot of the stuff. I mean, think about, if you're playing Ultimate Marvel 3, what gimmickier game is there than that? If you can get gimmicked very easily. But like I said, sometimes Ricky Ortiz will get top 8 in the game he doesn't know anything about. It's just because the way, if you play a certain kind of fundamentals, you can kind of neutralize extra game knowledge.
Right.
You can understand where to put yourself to just kind of minimize whatever craziness that you don't know is coming. You can just pick whatever your character's sweet spot is and hang out there.
Right.
You don't necessarily need to know what your opponent's sweet spot is, to which one to avoid. You just got to stay in your spot.
Yep.
And so that's if you watch Ricky play, or again whoever, any of these players, they just have this spot that they stand with Chun-Li or whoever that blows you up, and you never get to do Nina juggle into rolling dash, switch cancel, charge up Heihachi, unblockable that has a hit of armor, and then the opponent's dead. Right? You just never get a chance to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's
what I whine about Marvel all the time, right? I plan all these things, I have all these great gimmicks, and I can never land a single one because you know what? No one's gonna stand there and let you hit them with that stuff. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of what I was talking about in my show yesterday. You know, a lot of people are so focusing on combos, like how do I land my combo? And it's just like if you focus on landing combos and tricks, you'll never win because it's not about landing those things. It's about putting yourself in the position where you can land a combo or land a trick. And if you never put yourself in the position to land something like that, it doesn't matter. All the combos and shenanigans you can practice will never come to fruition. So.
Right. So, I was in that chat room again today, and some of the guys were pretty mad about it, about how they did, and just didn't think that they should have done as poorly as they did. And maybe they're right, because like I said, part of it is the experience of being in that situation. It's even if you're as good as your opponent, if they're used to this situation, being in a room with 1,000 people who are all noisy and not walking around, and somebody brushes your shoulder accidentally, right? It's a different environment than at home.
And then plus the other thing too is if you play honestly, if you play like this, you're going to get bodied because you're giving away everything. You don't know that. You've never played that before. I mean, there's a reason why Vi's cross-up hurricane fake of spin kick plus fierce works so good. Right. Because you see him jump, and he does it, and you get hit by the hurricane. Next time he jumps, and he does it with fierce, you're like, oh... You don't even pick it up. You just see it out of the corner of your eye. Something in your brain said, I saw the quarter circle back motion. Yeah. So you're like, let me turn around. And then he punches you in the face and you die. And these are tactics that none of these guys have ever played. So,
right.
Yeah. But I do want to say one thing, though. Good. I'm glad they're mad.
Okay.
I'm glad they're mad because that is what I want to see.
Okay.
Because if you just do that and go, wow, we aren't as good, and just give up, then you'll never win. But if they're mad and now they're like, man, I cannot wait until the next major so I can body them, then good. That is what I want to see. That getting mad, obviously getting mad is good as long as it's not like, me style of temper tantrum and whining. So, getting mad is a good thing, but it shows that you have that fire. So if those guys are watching right now, good on you to be mad and take that and use it as your drive to defeat him next time. Yeah.
The guy who they identified pre-Winter Brawl as being the member of their group who had the best chance to win didn't make it out of his pool. So
man.
And again, it's not just that he's. I don't know whether he's as good a player as the top guys. Maybe he is, but again, it's just that unfamiliarity with the situation. You have to get used to it. It's not the kind of thing that you come to your first time and you get top 8 or that you win at. You just don't.
Yeah, and just having that crowd around you, dude.
I mean, think about if all tournaments were just casual offline things, Flo would be the greatest player.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, we both talked to him about it, and he even mentioned it on Twitter. We were having conversations with him about it, how he just has trouble in those situations. Apparently the way he lost Cross Tekken was literally he was a screen away, wanted to do a hard tag, and did a raw launch instead.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's exactly what happened. He pressed hards instead of mediums.
Yeah, and that was all it took. And it's just pressure situations like that. And I've even admitted before. Usually, when I play against an opponent, if the opponent has a bunch of friends cheering him on to win, I have a harder time beating him. 100%, I have a harder time beating him for the dumbest reason possible because I feel bad. I don't want to beat him in front of all of his friends who are all happy about it. So I lose that killer edge when I play
man.
that. I'm serious. It happens. I'm just dude, they're all cheering him on. I can't. This would be terrible if I beat him, And
you are so nice,
dude. It's horrible. I hate it.
You are so nice.
I hate it. Dude, seriously, I hate it. I don't want it to be that way, but.
But as for the quality of the cross Tekken play in general, you could see that the people who got top 8 didn't know as much as the people who I've been talking about. It's just the way that they played. I mean, there was this one set between, I think it was Insane and Sanford, or Sanford and Jiran. It was one of those two. where there must have been 50 rolls and one punish with a throw. It was like they were just playing old game, and somebody punished a whiff dragon punch with like jab strong fierce launch, right? Like, really? What's going on?
Still doing this? You still doing this?
But they're just so much better. to be frank, they're so much more accustomed to the situation. They're so much more experienced, and they just have great fundamentals. And using those things overcomes lack of game knowledge.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully they come back next tournament. I mean, there's plenty of tournaments that are coming up. Even stuff like non-Road to Evo events, right? Civil War is coming up at some point in time. Bunch of other.
Well, there's lots of stuff.
Yeah, lots of stuff there. And,
I mean, there's weeklies too. Don't forget about weeklies.
I like a lot of people talking about like, I'm making excuses why I lose the players. There was a story that back in the B4, I think it was B4 and B5 in Alpha 3, I beat Ep8 in Alpha 3 both 2 years in a row. Zangief versus Charlie. Bad matchup for Zangief.
Okay.
Bad matchup for them. But I beat him 2 years in a row. Very, very late in the tournaments, right? And there was one time we were all hanging out. I think it was for one of Vi's birthdays and stuff like that. And Ep8 sat down next to me. He's like, you know what? You know why I can't beat you? Because you're too nice. He's like, I cannot get the fire to beat you. Like, I cannot get that passion. I can't get that drive to want to destroy you. It's like, this is why I lose to you. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's not just me. It happens to other people too.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the only one of those players that's really done much in major tournaments is Seth Olol. And he's going to final round.
Third place at Capcom 25th.
So, right. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him play. His team is ridiculous now. Law and Kuma are so good. They got buffed, so. I'm really looking forward to seeing him play because I hope he can maintain that. I hope that like you said, that the other players get mad and that they get better too.
Yes,
but that the guy who's done the best so far maintains playing as well as he has in tournaments.
Yeah, and honestly, the day and age of saving your tech is long gone.
For sure.
That's how we used to play it because it worked, because none of us had exposure to anything else. But even players who are as good as Vi or as Justin, their game is so advanced now. Okay, so here's a great example. I used to play hyper fighting to death. I thought I was really good at hyper fighting. At work, we got a hyper fighting cabinet just sitting there.
You mean now?
Yeah, right now. They just put a hyper fighting cabinet in my office. It's like on my floor. It's just right around the corner. It's the greatest thing ever. I'm so happy about that, right? And I go and sit there and I play that game, and the game looks different to me now. Because of all the years of knowledge that I've built up in fighting games, I play that game so much smarter now than I played back then when I played it like every day for an entire summer. I'm way smarter at this game now. Okay. And it's really interesting. I see things that I didn't see before, right? So, in the old days, saving tech was fine because no player was advanced enough. You know what I mean?
I see.
And these days, even players like Vi and Justin, like, there's the knowledge and the skill that they've developed playing these games is so far advanced that saving technology is just not going to do anything anymore. Saving technology is not going to work. In fact, you're better off telling your opponents your technology so they can blow up your technology so you can learn to apply your technology better. Honestly.
I agree.
So all those guys in in the chat room that you guys are talking to, definitely. Definitely.
People did hear that.
Yeah,
okay.
People did hear that. People did hear that. So yeah, and Kelly's the only person I know that can get that intense playing League of Legends.
It's League, I know.
Yeah, I know.
She's playing support. She's Sona. How do you get so hyped? I don't know,
but it's so amazing.
Whatever.
So it's so good. But yeah. So guys, share your tech with each other and challenge your opponents to find ways to counter it. And that will make you a stronger player in the end. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, we had some other giant stories lately.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Check these out. Dominion is no longer broken tier. He's with Empire again.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Whoa.
Let's talk about this.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Dominion. Good luck, and I hope it works out for you. So.
Man, there was this other story. Mr. Fnatic was at Winter Brawl, and he and Knives were an hour late for their matches, and then they got DQ'd. What happened, man? Big story, right?
So what else was going on?
So Twitch actually sent out an email. If you recall, last couple of weeks we talked a little bit about how they do their funding of us. They like the way that they pay us based on ads. And they actually sent out an email saying, we're sorry that it's been so low lately.
There was a bug in the system.
Yeah.
That caused the impressions to be less than it should have been.
That was it.
Have a nice day.
That was it. Are you serious? Sorry, guys, it was a bug. We didn't pay you as much as we should have. Okay.
Yeah. So, there's definitely a lot of growth still needed in this market, and it's going to be really interesting. The PlayStation 4 announcement that they're going with Ustream. Now, I heard Final Round is. I heard rumors that it might be streamed on Xbox 360 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah?
I heard rumors about that. I don't know if that's supposed to be like, a surprise or whatever like that. But, I heard stuff about that. So, hopefully, and I think that's going through Twitch. I think that's going through Twitch. Dude, people are going to call Kotaku now.
I know. Right? They're like, somebody in James Chen's basement. Oh, man.
See, this is all predicated on the fact that they heard the motorcycle. See, I wouldn't have normally thought that they could hear that, but I guess they can hear it.
I guess, yeah. Come on, it's just playing Sona. Sona's not even an interesting character.
Oh, this is why it's so good watching her play games.
I know, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyways,
are you sure you don't want to talk anymore about when that guy was at a tournament on the East Coast and he just didn't show up in time and then he got mad? You don't want to talk about that more? Are you sure? I heard he got mad.
I have there's... you know what? I have like this entire dissertation about this, actually.
Oh, yeah? Can we get to that?
Yeah, actually, honestly, like, there's just this huge message that I really need to deliver.
Okay, I can't wait.
But I'm going to save it for another time.
Are you sure?
I'm going to save it for another time. Are you
sure?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it right
now. Man, I know everybody...
Give me some time to refine my thoughts.
Of course. And if you can you give me a copy in advance so I can see if I can make some, any edits to it? We'll get a little peer review going.
Because obviously, we're not good at talking about anything when we decide on what to talk about at the last second. Right? I need like 3 days in advance to plan out what I need to say for stuff. Right?
But 3 days from now is not one of our show days.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, man.
So I have to save it for next week.
What to do about that? I
don't know. Well, we'll have to figure it out. Yeah, we'll have to make a plan like we always do. Because we plan everything out in advance so far.
This is the dumbest story that I've ever heard. Okay. Can we just shut up about this? Anyway, you know what? There's no Gutex on tonight. There's no cross counter.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of why we're like trolling everybody because I'm not in any hurry to jump off. Because,
that's right. Yeah, we can just kind of BS.
Yeah, exactly.
I got some green tea.
We can BS by. Oh, never mind. That it didn't work at all. So never mind.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it for tonight. Even though there's no cross counter.
Yeah, but I think Hanzo Gonzo did say that he was going to get back. He might be getting back a little late, but definitely they will still be doing the show at 10. There's still a show to do.
Head over to Round Tuesday, just to let everybody know again.
Yeah, for sure.
What's going on here? Like we said, it is the Round Tuesday, even though there's no cross counter live tonight. Everything else still happened. Wake Up SRK happened on time at 7 p.m. We happened more or less on time at 8 p.m. PST. And the show that sucks, we hope will happen more or less on time as well at 10 p.m. Pacific time.
All right. And, everyone keeps telling us just to talk a little bit longer. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? Let's see if we come up with anything after a break.
Oh, hey, we're back. Yeah, what's up? I don't know.
You know what? I think Jack Burton wins the chat right now because he's the one who stated something that I was like, oh yeah, we could talk about that a little bit, right? So what he mentioned here was to talk about IPL. Obviously, IGN they're trying to sell the whole site, right? To somebody.
So IGN got bought by Ziff Davis.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And IGN had various things included with it, one of which was IPL, the IGN Pro League. And, that's on the chopping block, I guess. That's being being shopped there. I heard a rumor earlier today that Red Bull was gonna do that. That doesn't seem likely to me, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be kind of interesting because we're still a burgeoning industry, and we're not making any money. No league is making any money right now.
The groups in competitive games who are making the most money are the ones who are not making a debt.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're doing okay comparatively if you're not in debt.
Yeah,
and IGN, the IPL, they can't say that.
Yeah,
they didn't do too hot. In fact, IGN before they were sold even said that IPL was expected to lose money in the first couple of years, but that it was an investment.
See, the nice thing about IGN is that they were a computer website, or a gaming website. Yeah. They had all this gaming stuff, so they could, lean off of that. IGN could make the profits that it was making to help fund IPL, so they could buy time before IPL started making money. Right. And who else is gonna do that now? Like, I don't know. I don't feel like there's any. Like, honestly, I think one of the smartest things that might do is because let me just preface it with this. I think I've mentioned this on our show before. What Riot is doing is amazing.
They're the smartest business people.
They're hiring sports broadcasters, like people who have produced sports shows to help produce their League of Legends season broadcasts and all this stuff like that. They've talked to people who are in the sports industry to help them and all this stuff like that. Dude, you know who should buy IPL? Blizzard. Blizzard should buy IPL and just turn it into the biggest giant StarCraft league, and just see what they could do with that.
I mean, I don't know that there's any need for Blizzard to buy IPL. They already have done some stuff on their own. Or have worked with other groups enough times that they should just be able to do it. If they want to have StarCraft 2, especially once Heart of the Swarm comes out as its own thing, they could do that. I don't think that they need to associate themselves with the bloat that is IPL.
I guess that's true.
Dude, these leagues are so ridiculously bloated. I don't know if people in the chat have been in any of these things, but they gold plate stuff for no reason. They seriously, they put people up in fancy hotels. They get the big locations.
Crane cameras.
They get crane cameras.
Dude, you think $150,000 is expensive to create a character? Let's not even talk about how much it takes to rent a crane camera like that, right?
That is an hourly cost. I mean, I don't know, but that is an hourly cost of an IPO. I heard that they always spend at least $1 million on these things. That's just unreasonable. Why would you do that? But I look. Part of it is that they need to sell this idea that what they're doing is very fancy. Mm-hmm. That's an important part of what they're selling. Yeah, so they need it to look like that, but unfortunately to do so is very expensive.
Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know how they're going to convince anyone to pick this up.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Whatever. I mean, I wish the best of luck to them because it seems like they were doing the good stuff for fighters. It seemed like right. I like what Mike Ross is doing over there and what they're letting him do. Both of those things are important sides of it.
Between round shows and the Mike Ross neighborhood stuff. I mean, it's really good. It's very awesome content because it's still distinctly fighting game style.
Right, I totally agree. So they were clearly the better of the couple leagues out there when it comes to how they interface with the fighting game community. So to that. Considering that, I'm sorry to see them go.
Yeah.
If they go, maybe they don't.
Someone says I should buy IPL.
You should buy IPL. Okay.
I'll do that.
Oh yeah, why not?
Yeah, I've got billions of dollars.
Oh yeah, trust fund James.
Yeah, exactly. Man, if that was the case, I'd have hired someone to produce the stream without me clicking on this stuff and starting I did it again yesterday. I started with no sound.
Did you?
Yeah, it was amazing. And then we would start on time. The reason why I start late is because I get home at 7:59.
I know, yeah.
Right? From my job. I get home at 7:59. I'm like, quick, start everything up! So, dude, yeah, I wish.
I know.
Anyways.
What else is going on? What else is going on?
You know what's going on right now? I'm hungry. I need to eat, so I think we should just call it a night.
That's fine with me. Let's see, is there anything else? Injustice looks cool. Yeah, I think it's shaping up to be a cool game. I'm not joking, by the way. I think it is shaping up to look pretty cool. I like how some of the characters look. Their options seem like they're really interesting.
Yeah, you know, I mean...
And Push Block was out of left field for me, but apparently that's going to be in, so that's cool.
Because obviously you and I are going to approach everything very differently because you do not pay attention to aesthetics.
Right.
But right now, number one thing that bothers me about that game is the aesthetics.
I understand.
I can't watch the game.
Okay.
Especially because they've just completely 100% stolen animations from Mortal Kombat. Like when they hit them and they go face down backwards like that. 100%. Just like let's just model them in the Mortal Kombat reel. You know.
I mean, don't you think they're just building it off of MK9 in the same way as like Cross Tekken was built off SF4?
I made some tweets about it and I said Cross Tekken has the same problems. That obviously Ogre is just Seth.
It's hilarious, man.
Right, Ogre is just Seth, but like. There's just certain things about the game. Like, I was commenting every time you do one of the stage interactions. I'm not even complaining about the stage interactions.
Yeah.
But when the character recovers from getting knocked through the roof or whatever and all that stuff, they all have the exact same rolling animation where their arms tumble the exact same way. And I don't know, it's distracting to me.
Okay.
Like, every time I saw it, I was just like, no. And then there's one where, like, the guy falls down, hits computers, come like, and I just expect him to go splat and stop, right? No, they go boom. And then they start to roll ever so slightly and do the exact same animation. And I was like,
do they really?
No! I was like, why would you do that?
And then the other guy comes running from off screen as if it wasn't a vertical thing, it was a horizontal thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's kind of weird too. But I think it's cool that you can turn off the stage interactions, really I hope that they make those work out well. And I'm not even talking about these ridiculous like extended cutscenes where you go from one arena to the next, but it's functionally there's no point to it. I hope that you can turn those off because I would turn them off just in an instant. I hate that. But as far as the actual like here's a car, like here's a switch to or you can pick up the car or whatever, I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
So I like that. But it's good for them to give you the option to turn it off just in case it ends up being really busted. Maybe it will be. I don't know.
Someone says I should buy Injustice and IPL. We should just turn it into the Injustice Player League or something.
That'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool, yeah. I don't even know what happened with Beefy Techie. People are saying, talk about Beefy Techie. I have no idea.
They're trolling us, so.
Like I said, I didn't really watch live this weekend, so I have no idea what happened.
But, I do like the fact that, like you said, push blocks in the game, you can actually cross people up because there's no block button in Injustice, so, it's definitely, I think, it's like everyone's saying, who cares about the way things look? If it's a good game, it's a good game, right? Yeah. And that's true, and that's absolutely true. So, I'm absolutely willing to give it a shot. A lot of players seem very excited by it, to be honest with you, so... I'm totally down.
I think some of the characters look really interesting. I really do.
You were talking about how Lex Luthor has like that tandem engine looking move, right?
Yeah, he looks really cool to me. But I guess we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I'll pick whoever's the biggest, grippinest dude available.
Solomon Grundy, right?
Maybe. We'll see.
Do you have experience being Solomon Grundy?
I don't know what you're getting at right now.
Well, you really want to use
Grundy?
him, right? Yeah, Grundy. It would be really good to actually use him, right, in the game.
Oh, maybe I'll look into doing something Grundy. Okay. Yeah. So I was remember that whole thing with like ridiculous Batman villains and characters like in FGC.
Oh, you're gonna talk about this?
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter now. I was Grundy. I was Raffle Grundy. A lot of people were doing it. It seemed like a funny idea. I got some free digs in against people that were pretty good. I thought.
Dude, you did digs towards yourself too, which was genius. Yeah.
It was funny. The whole Raffle Batman, the Raffle Gotham thing. It was funny. But I don't know why I thought it would last. Clearly hasn't lasted. There was no reason to get on that train, but I was on it.
Oh, that's so good.
Anyway.
Okay, I'm starving now, so I gotta call it.
Can you do this? Can you do that with both eyes?
No, I can't.
Can you do it with either one?
Huh.
Let me see. Dude, you can only do the right one a little bit.
But see, I'm just closing my eye. I don't think I'm actually like...
I was born with the ability to only do this one.
Uh-huh.
But I was really impressed by Jim Carrey's ability to do both. And so I sat around like trying trying to learn it, and I did.
Really?
Yeah, I did. You can do whatever you want to, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. All you have to do is have the stick-to-itiveness to continue to just try to find that one little muscle. Where is it? Is it here? Is it here? Is it here?
You sat there and practiced that, yet you hate training mode.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. I love it.
I'd rather practice my eyebrows than combos. Yep.
All right. Hey, you can sit here and raise your eyebrows at the stream all day while I go eat.
They've had enough. I'm not giving those out for free.
All right, fair enough. Dude, you know how when they used to watch all those cross-counter, like, Excellent Adventures, all they would ever do is talk about how high Mike Ross and Gutex are? I'm surprised not everyone's just, like, spamming, like, oh my God, James and David must be so high right now.
Yeah, I know. Who knows what I'm drinking over here?
Pretty much, and who knows what I'm going to go eat right now. All right. Guys, thank you for tuning in to Round Tuesday. This is the second part. There is no cross-counter today, but at 10 p.m., please tune into twitch.tv/iPlayWinner for the show that sucks. And hopefully all of you came from the Wake Up SRK with Keats and Ski Sonic. So, all right, and we'll be back next week on Monday for First Attack and Level 3 Focus.
All right, bye.
Peace out.